and like what musical you would want to be in?
Ooh, that's a good question. I was never really a singy guy. I got contractually obligated to sing on Riverdale. But I've had the pleasure of watching people who are really trained in that, like Casey Codd, who was on Riverdale as well. He went to Carnegie Mellon. He's trained in musical theater. It is an incredibly tasking and really impressive thing to do, and it involves you know, a lot of rehearsal in the same performance, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, every day, in New York City. I would love to train to be able to do that, because I don't feel like I would have just the stamina to do that as of now. I can only jump for 5 minutes.
Thank you. I'd love to see you in a musical.
Thank you. Start using your diaphragm. You gotta use your diaphragm when you sing.
I'll be Audrey too, and we'll show up. And just sit on pants.
Feed me. Hi, how are you?
Hi, my name is Cindy, and I had a random question. So I was wondering where your favorite place was to travel for acting or for anything.
Wherever pays, baby. Favorite place to travel? I really love New Orleans. Thank you. I've shot 2. We shot Lisa Frankenstein in New Orleans, and then we shot a movie called 5 Feet Apart in New Orleans. And I love that city. But it's interesting, you know, the industry towns like film and television has moved across the United States, and often to Canada and elsewhere, and it kind of changes every year where the new spot is. Now it's like Budapest. A lot of stuff shoots in Budapest. A lot of stuff shoots in Atlanta. A lot of stuff shoots in New Orleans. A lot of people are going to Cleveland now. There's a big incentive to go to Arkansas and Indiana. I mean, there's a lot of, it changes, but New Orleans, I've shot there twice, and the city just gives you a lot. It's really rich culturally. It's got delicious food. The people are really sweet. There's music pumping out of every restaurant in the streets. It's a lot of fun. So I always love going to New Orleans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Cole.
Hi.
What has been the most rewarding aspect of your acting career so far?
So I mentioned it earlier. I got there's been so many, but one of the coolest things that I hung on to as a kid was I got to work with the Muppets once when I was young. So Disney Channel did this like Muppets publicity thing, and I got to work with Miss Piggy. And I'm a real geek for like set design and special effects and practical effects, and they built the entire stages with alleyways that would run through them like canals, where the Muppeteers could have their arms suspended completely up so that Miss Piggy would be on my level, as an example. And I just remember watching them construct all this stuff and then watching the Muppeteers actually get to work. They never broke character. They would improv completely in character. When the cameras were not rolling, they would talk to each other as the Muppets. It was incredible, and I got to hold Kermit earlier, one of the real Kermits. I have it on my phone. I would like to let you guys know I take full advantage of coming to these conventions in the same way that you guys do, in that I absolutely abuse most of the talent backstage. Photos and opportunities. I can hold Kermit too. I love Kermit. I'm doing that every time I'm in the green room.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. I just wanted to say that you were kind of a role model for me to actually do theater in high school and graduate college in theater, so thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My question to you is, when it came to Lisa Frankenstein, what was the funniest and most challenging moment for you?
The funniest moment on that set was someone had stolen the prosthetic penis out of that, and no one knows who has it or where it is. And then everyone blamed me. It's like, all right. I don't have it. Challenging. Well, we really broke down the way the character moves physically according to how human he is throughout the script, which took a lot of time in the pre-production cycle. But then, you know, the other challenging part is just sitting still for 7.5 hours in a makeup chair as it all, you know, gets put on you. But like I mentioned, I'm like such a big fan of the practical effects process that it made it a lot easier. But then it's also hot as balls in New Orleans, and you're under, you know, 7 hours of prosthetics and effects. So you're really sitting there, and what happens is you're sealed, so your sweat falls into your gullet like a frog's pouch, and they have to drain it. And is this not cool to be? This is movie magic, baby. This is how it works. You know, as the whiz behind the curtain. So yeah, I kept getting drained like my frog's pouch. Woo! Am I killing this or what?
How long did it take to take off the makeup after that?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. So still like that, they're over there doing it little by little for you and not ripping it off.
It's 1 or 2 of the nights I just went home and went to sleep with some of it on, because I was like, guys, I'm so tired.
So tired.
Like, yeah, and we'll just get it off in the morning. But I love that stuff. I really do. And we worked with one of the greatest FX houses in the game. They've done everything. And I got to go to their actual warehouse, which is the most like completely hidden thing in the world. You walk in and you see all the Terminators and Iron Man, and you know, you see the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, and it's just most of the Mandalorian like practical effects, and you're going like, this is legit.
Yeah.
I mean, we were a smaller movie. Like, they really elected to do our movie because they loved the script, which was incredibly flattering. But it was a big check mark for me, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, love you, Cole.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, this is from the first season of Riverdale, but how do you think this quote has aged since then?
Dude, I'm excited for this. This is gonna go hard.
Well, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. And have you seen me without the suit and hat? That's weird. How do you think that has aged since then and for the rest of the show?
You know what's funny? First off, great rendition. What's funny is, at the time you don't know what like lines people are gonna remember, but only since coming to this convention was I signing Funko Pops from like certain things, and I'm realizing, oh, people are wanting certain lines from projects. And I signed some for Big Daddy. They're like, hey, I wipe my own ass. Or I signed things from Riverdale, and they're like, I'm weird, I'm a weirdo. And you don't realize when it happens that like there's this entire universe that's being created behind this one line. And so now it's like the line people think about from that character, which is, I think, awesome, but at the time we had no idea what it was going to be.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, hi.
Hello. What is your favorite thing to cook, bake, or smoke, food-wise?
Crap. I'll tell you, smoking food-wise, candied salmon. That's the one real thing that I stole from Vancouver, was a killer smoked candied salmon. So I like that. I like to cook. I cook so much. I like to bake angel food cake. I started in baking, and then I went to smoking crack.
That's usually the transition. that
Yeah,
we
I mean,
follow.
that's kind of how it goes. You start with the science of crack.
Lay everything out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, hello.
Hi, Cole.
Hi.
My name is Mal. First of all, thank you so much for being here. You were such a big
course.
part of my childhood. Like, you were just so awesome. You're like a hero to me. I actually
Go
some of
on.
my favorite movies you've been in is 5 Feet Apart and Lisa Frankenstein. You're just so awesome. And my question for you is, as a person with anxiety, some people forget that actors too also have anxiety because you're people too. And how do you deal with your anxiety if you ever have some anxiety?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. I identify it. I identify it as anxiety. I know that sounds silly, but like it really works because oftentimes when you're kind of going through like a panic or like having anxiety, you forget that it's anxiety and panic, and when you kind of like look at it in the face and you go, dude, that's anxiety. I've felt that way 1,000 times before. That's what it is. It actually really works in getting rid of it. Also, I've recently really taken control of like physical fitness as a means not to like look a certain way, but just combat the anxiety thing. Because my mental is really connected to my physical, and I think just kind of being more decisive or deliberate about the way I treat my physical next to, and like diet and all that really helps a lot, like huge. And then just identifying it, and then realizing it's okay, and then screaming really loud.
That's always a good one too. Just scream.
Yeah,
It feels
really
great.
loud.
Yeah, I love that
My
one.
neighbors hate me, but thank you.
Thank you. That's what I suffer from depression my whole life, and I started going to Orange Theory Fitness recently because I went through a pretty rough depression bout for about a year or two, and I was like, I need to get up off my couch and do something with my time versus sitting here and dwelling in it. And really, you don't really dwell. You kind of are. It's like a gray, like it's almost like nothingness. And I found I was at the gym running on the treadmill, smiling like a psycho.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, it's all these endorphins and all that dopamine and
Yeah.
that rush, and I kind of got addicted to feeling better.
Yeah, there's also, I'm like a big believer in opposite action, or like contrary action. Like, usually if you wake up in the morning and you go, that's the last thing I want to do, just do it right there, do it. Like, immediately do it. And it just changes everything about your day. Like, nothing, like, you don't really confront that kind of laziness or that wanting to sort of on the couch anymore. It helps a lot. But like you said, getting off and going to the gym immediately doing
Distracting
it.
yourself.
Of course.
It's a great tool. Hi, hello. Are we invited to the tea party?
Hi. Are you sad at all that Archie and Jughead didn't get to kiss in Riverdale?
Who said we didn't? No, that's just real life. I mean, honestly, there were so many storylines we were doing that at one point we were just like, all right, point us where we're going. Nah, not really. Yeah. I haven't really thought about it too much. Maybe ask me next convention, I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, wait a minute.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, hi.
Hi, my
Hi.
name is Charlie. I had a question involving Riverdale. Jughead is typically like a goofier character in the comics.
Yeah.
What was personally your approach to making him more darker because Riverdale took a darker turn?
You know, I think a lot of tone is really, I think actors can add a lot to it, but we're always building from what's already there. You know, I think that we were not a show that improv'd a lot or like kind of took creative liberties on the acting side. So all that tone is really thanks to, and I'm going to give credit where it's due, to cinematography and the writers and the directors and the editors. But I wanted to make him feel like an emo kid. Because that's kind of the way it fit. You know, like we were still trying to tie him into like a real world setting. And then the dialogue and everything else just kind of handled the rest.
Okay, cool. I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Hello, hi.
Hi, hello. As a fellow foodie, I have a really important question. I feel like you'll have some great insight.
Let's go.
So, do you think that a hot dog is a sandwich?
Damn, is this like a big debate? Everyone. Oh, right. Oh, shit. Oh, God. I think a hot dog is a gift. I should run for office. Thank you. That's all I'm going to say.